J. Kristoff, Empire of the Dawn. Now, was this my most anticipated release of the year? Yes, it was. It was not yours, but it was my most anticipated release of the year. I think I liked this series just a tad bit more than you going into it. Upon a reread of the second book, which I did right before I read the third book, I was a little less high on it than I was previously. But man, I do love this series, and I did love that second book. But I was over enthusiastic at the time. Now, we read the third book, maybe a little less than a month ago now, final in the trilogy. What are your thoughts here? What are your quick thoughts? I mean, we have the same thoughts, so we can just get into it.
If I were to just keep it spoiler-free, because this is the third, the final book in a series, just for
hard to talk about. Yeah.
Overall, I really enjoyed this book. I had a really fun and great time reading this book. I could not put it down. I thought it was his best. I've always talked about how I like seeing writers evolve through each book, and you could tell even from the beginning of this one that I was like, oh, I see a little bit of the evolution in his writing. That's fun. That's something you want to see for the final book in a series. I don't know if I agree with that point, my own point, throughout the entirety of the book, but there are things about it that I really liked in that aspect. I think he writes amazing action scenes. I think he writes amazing... Like I said, this doesn't need a live action thing. This makes for great anime. There are these great anime kind of moments that happen throughout. He's the king of those. He can build up a scene to the best degree. Or to the highest degree before like some sort of climax happens. I ultimately, and like the places this book goes from beginning to end, both sides of the map, I enjoyed. I was enjoying the ride, the journey, as you have so said. I was enjoying the journey, and the ending just didn't stick it for me at all in a lot of ways. I was pretty disappointed with the very end. But it does not take away how much I enjoyed the rest of the book, though.
Nope. I've come around. I at first was trying to convince you that this ending is fine. Nope.
Son of
I take it away.
Yeah, I take it away. Son of a bitch.
It is
and you haven't brought it up to me till now?
It is a great book because
you made me try to make it better than it was.
My feelings are much worse than yours.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I should kill you. I just want to say to the shitters, before we continue with this, Jake finished the book and called me as soon as he finished it. I was already done.
I finished it like a day after you, right?
Like 2 days, yeah. And he was like, "Oh man, dude, he sounded like a dead fucking dog on the side of the road." He
sounded like a lawyer, is what he
sounded like. He sounded like a guy that accepts loss. He's just like, "Yeah, books end shitty sometimes, so they just are shitty." Piece.
Here's
and that's
the thing.
how I feel. And
Here's
now he's
the
all
problem.
like, "Oh, I hate it."
It is a good book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just
you thought about what I said about the patience thing not being real.
I don't care about that. Actually, it's not even that. It's just like, it just is like the story feels so epic and Gabriel was so amazing. And then just in the end, it's just like that's my final memory of that series is, and it's hard. I don't want to be that guy. I'm trying not to be, because genuinely, I really did enjoy that book. The whole time I read it, I was really into it. Now, I can talk about parts I didn't like as much. Yeah. I think Dior is not a very good character. I think she is maybe written 3 times better in the second book than the third book. She has, almost 0 character development in the third book that is worth mentioning. At times has, jumpy character moments that aren't very... In my opinion, and again, I like J. Kristoff. I love his interviews, and I love his story. Because I love Gabriel. But man, it all just comes down to and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way. I haven't watched a lot of videos.
I don't know
that
either.
Ending is just lame. It's just lame. And I'm super depressed because
I called it mediocre when we first had spoken, and I stand by
lame.
that.
It's not even mediocre. It's just lame. Like, it's just lame. It's just lame. Like, if you let me put it this way.
Not only is it lame, but it leaves you with like, how did things go? How did events actually play out?
If I would have known that's how it was going to end, I never would have picked up the series. That's a damning thing to say.
That is a damning thing to
and
say.
I really mean that as I've thought about it more. And I'm really nervous because my college roommate just started it the other day. He's really excited to read it.
Yeah. And it's
I'm
good.
like,
it's a fun time.
And
that
like,
ending
all right,
stings a little.
Spoilers are coming. Spoilers.
It's bittersweet, not the way you wanted it to be.
Spoilers. And we're not going to jump right to the ending. I want to talk just like before this. Okay.
Go ahead.
I think Gabriel going to like his hometown. I think everything with Gabriel is amazing. I think that character is incredible. I think he's unbelievably fun to read and is so good. I think he's pretty much perfect until the end. I think Dior's stuff
got that
is
redneck
really
wisdom that I call
think Dior's stuff is really boring. Like in the whole book, she's just like, I'm perfect. Yeah. I'm perfect all the time. I have extra superpowers all the time. And I know you didn't mind when she becomes a giant animal. I thought it was lame.
It caught me off guard at first. At first, I was like, what the fuck? But then they made sense out of it, and I was like...
It's just like,
that's
it's a
the
little
thing.
lame.
Every crazy thing that happens, though, at least he applies his own series sense of sense to it.
I thought, okay,
That's
let's
why
talk about things that were great.
But
I think
also,
Celine...
I think we have different perspectives, to be honest. You call these moments the Celine moments, the Celine story. I see them more as what's the sister's name?
I'm calling them Dior moments. I was getting ready.
Oh.
I was saying this because
Right.
Celine stuff is incredible. I think that's amazing.
Well, Dior stuff is Celine. So like the stuff you're
yes,
getting from
I know. But
Dior
what I'm
is
trying to say is
Celine's.
what I starkly
Wow,
noticed
I
as I'm
fucked
reading
that
the
up
book is how
entirely.
much. Of course you did. That's okay.
I knew as I was saying Celine, I was like, something isn't tracking in my brain.
Everything with Celine as you're reading that, right? Because it flips from Gabe to Dior / Celine. And when I'm reading the Celine stuff and it pops over to Dior, I'm annoyed because I just want to read Celine because her stuff's so good. Dior stuff is just not. And like, I just think he fell into what happens to a lot of writers. And I think it's hard. And I said this to you on the phone. It's why the greats, there's only a few of them, man. Because it's hard to build and build and it's easier to build up, but it's hard to finish. You know? It's hard. It's just hard.
See, here's the problem though, dude. It is hard. I agree with your point.
But here's the problem.
But hold on. Let me finish my point. But
no,
dude,
so you want to go to the
all
ending
you
of
have
the
to do
book.
is change a couple things,
No,
and
let
the
me
ending
go to
is
the middle
fine.
of the book. I'm not even going to the end. I think the way they get rid of Mother Marin or Mother, what is her name?
Mother Marin, I think.
Is that her name in the book?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's my cousin's
Mother
name
Marin.
too. I gotta be honest. I think that sucked. Like,
Wow, I love that scene. I love the way they played it.
Because
really?
she's built up to be this big bad, and then just like...
And we learned everything we needed to know about her. We knew that she was dog shit.
but
We
it
knew
just
she
was like
wasn't
this
Fabian
build-up.
Voss. We didn't have time for her.
She's she's almost as bad as him. She is much worse. She's much worse than the guy they had to kill in the last book.
Sure.
And we took a whole book to get rid of him.
She's awful. Her intentions are awful, but her power level is not
dude, she could just blow people up. She just blew people up.
Yeah.
She's
So the
clearly
only way to
stronger
kill
than
her
the last guy that we
was a
took.
sneaky. The way they do it, like I loved when
I wasn't
Gabe
into
was
it.
like, "I told
wasn't
you
into
I'd
it.
fucking kill you." Wow, really? Damn, dude.
I wasn't into that.
I love that scene.
So then when you go from that to the actual ending, and the problem is, I told you this, man. I told you this, that like I was very concerned, and as I'm reading the book, I'm like, oh man, nothing has happened.
I want to remind everybody that when Jake finished this book, he was trying to talk me down about it, and now he's yelling at me.
But
like
remember,
he knew
I
it
told you
all
before we
along.
started this. I told you this before we started the book. I said, I'm really worried that, like, we're going to get very little of the present. That it's like, and as I'm reading this book, I'm like, uh-oh, I only have this much left. Nothing's happening in the present. This much left. Nothing's happening in the present. Uh-oh. Because you can't just build toward the present and then say, yeah, actually, big spoilers coming up. Actually, with 20 pages left, we've solved everything. We've solved it all. It's just like, it's still a good story overall, right? It's a good book series, but it just was something for me where it was one of my favorites. And now I'm like, I'll never reread it, you know? Like that's the difference. I'll never read them again.
Yeah.
And the difference is Tori was considering reading them, and now I'm like, you don't gotta. That's okay. No need.
Wow.
Yep.
What a complete turnaround then from when we first talked about this. I think
I
I've
coped,
come to the
Chase.
point
I was
where
coping. I was coping.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
want
the
it to
thing.
be that
I needed
bad.
time. After I read it,
I
needed
clearly
time.
did too.
I talked to you about it like a day after I had finished it. So it was like you would talk to me right after
literally
you finished
minutes afterwards.
I was trying. Yeah. That's why I was glad I had Sun Eater to back. You know,
Well,
I had
still
Strength of You and Sun Eater that came to me right after that.
Well,
I was like,
I still stand by the fact that endings suck. So it's fine.
endings can be tough. There are expectations. You can't meet everybody. Like, I'm sure some people like the way the ending played out. There probably are. I imagine Jay Kristoff is one of those people. But it was just like
Jay Kristoff, even somewhere in his mind, was like, "Yeah."
And the weird thing is, though, here's the thing, though, dude. When you get these kind of endings, they're known to be able to ruin an entire series sometimes, like the rest of the experience or like the story that took place in the rest of them. Really, to me, the ending only ruins like half of the end of the third book. So the rest of the 2.5 books, I believe, happened the way they happened. Whereas out of nowhere, at the end of the third, he was just like, now I'm going to throw in some shit because I need to stall. It's like, God damn.
And it's also...
It feels weird. It feels weird because it was so serious.
Well,
until
and then this
the
is
very end.
And then this is my next point on that. Like, very quickly, I don't even want to get into it that much, but very quickly, he kills off all of these characters, and then turns out
once everybody's dead,
Gabriel's a false narrator, and these people aren't actually dead, and they're all alive.
Back in those last 20 pages.
But my reason that's tough is a little bit different than yours. My reason is I like this series because it's very serious, very brutal, and like...
And it's trying to teach a lesson of like, life is
but
brutal,
it's harsh.
It feels
the
like.
series is harsh. So when people are dying, you're like, yeah, that's what this series is. It's brutal.
That's what we do
and emotionally brutal. Not just physically brutal, but emotionally brutal. Like,
everybody up to this point who has died stays dead.
And then but the people that have died up to this point are like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But now you're like, oh my God, we killed Lachi, we killed Phoebe, we killed Aaron, we killed Baptiste. And then
everybody's dead.
No, they're all fine.
Good. They're all good, and this happened
the way it did. It's just lame. It's just lame.
Mediocre, I said. Mediocre.
It's lame. It's not even just like, it's just
and it was already lame when it was just them. And I'm telling you, I told you on the phone that day, I'll tell everybody, the second, I can't remember her name, Worm from the second book, when she came back to life, Dior's girl, I literally in person...
Oh, wait, what about the time Dior came back to life?
I don't care about that.
Nobody dies!
Well, Dior coming back was fine for me.
I'm just saying, how many people die and come back in the life of this?
They made sense of it. Sure. Which in fantasy I can allow. Like, I like the way Dior
but how many times can you allow it?
It's the way... It's by the point that... I can't remember her name, dude. Moraine? Something like that?
No. Her name is an R.
Whatever.
Morgaine was her mom.
I slapped my head. I did the face palm. I was just like, I didn't know how I was feeling already about where things were going. And then she showed up and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like,
sucks.
Everybody's alive.
Yeah,
Jesus
I think it's just
Christ.
not good.
Everybody's alive and Gabe's dead kid that would have allowed most of this plot to happen from the point that it happens onward was never really there to begin with. It's just like, it's so disappointing. It's not like everything was a dream type of ending or like this all happened in like somebody's coma dream.
Yeah, her
or
name's Rain. That's what I
lost.
said.
It's no lost ending, but it's like, ugh, fuck you. I don't know. They're on my bookshelf. The thing is, I had a fun, amazing time reading these books. I'm
Yep.
sad the ending just kind of is like,
Yeah, me too. Me too, because I loved reading them. I don't know what else to say about it. It's sad. I still love Jay Kristoff. I think he's a cool dude.
yeah, I'd read others of his books. Like, you can't do
but I
that kind of
think
ending all the time.
I haven't gone in and yeah,
have his other books
I would
at
give
the
those
library.
small again. I will say that like people that actually end a series and end it at least correctly / well deserve more credit in your mind than you may have given them in the past because it is so rare in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a random one I'm thinking of is John Gwynn. His series he ends pretty damn well in my opinion. I think the Lycaea trilogy ends well, and that's by the guy who writes Strength of the Few and Will of the Many. What's his name?
James Islington.
Islington, yeah, James Islington, yeah.
Islington,
whatever.
Islington. Everybody
Yeah.
says something different on the internet. I
doesn't
don't know
matter.
what it is.
But
I think it is
yeah.
Islington.
Doesn't literally makes no difference to me. But these guys, you know, outside of the big ones, Wheel of Time, and you know, good endings are hard, man.